We're live.
Greetings, wherever you are on this planet we call Earth. Brother Minister Zumbi, trying to stay warm during this snowstorm. And I've got Brother Seko with me tonight. And tonight we're going to discuss a topic that I've been exploring really for almost 20 years. It's called Infopreneurship, formerly known as information marketing. And particularly as we go through this great global economic reset, there's something that people really need to explore, particularly African people. The one thing that this pandemic should teach you is job security is the biggest lie going today. Okay, that's gone. You can do all of the right things, be on time, be productive, and all of a sudden we get this situation that started in March of 2020, and you're out of work through no fault of your own.
That's intriguing, brother. I'm an educator.
Mm-hmm.
And even though my job currently is secure, for at least this contract, all educators are actually contractors. They just don't know it. If you sign a contract, you're a contractor.
Right.
They just don't know it. I've seen other educators who have to leave the field because of the pandemic and because of technology, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a term that's used in economics. It's called creative destruction. And what that means is that the present technological tools, things of that nature, are replaced with things that are better and improved, or you eliminate that by bringing something that's more efficient. Okay. So case in point. Before Henry Ford brought what they called the horseless carriage, everybody thought that horse and buggy was, the thing to get around. Once they came with the horseless carriage, you put out God knows how many people who made their livelihoods on that industry. So now you've got to retrain them to fit in this new economy. Okay. And then we see the same thing with what happened in the music industry. When Sean Parker created Napster, it destroyed the old business model. And so now there's hundreds of thousands of people who may have lost their jobs, but now it creates opportunities for new jobs to be developed. You see, so creative destruction plays a significant role in how people earn their living. And this situation could be looked at as being impacted by creative destruction.
Creative destruction. And we have creatives who are coming up with technologies and ideas that are quote unquote disrupting the market. Mm-hmm. And I actually invest in a few of them. I invest in a few of them, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So, matter of fact, I'm going to do this for the code keepers and the precise thinkers. This is a platform called Start Engine. And on Start Engine, you can look at different companies that are startups who are coming up with different, like this thin optics.
Okay.
So this is thin optics, and I'm not going to play the video. Let's see. They have a 29.2 million valuation. Right now, you can come in as little. Let's see. What's the smallest amount you can invest? Yeah, $495.72 is the smallest amount you can invest. But you see how small it fits in just that little space there.
Wow.
So glasses on your phone category by creating light, thin, durable glasses. Yo, that's really going to disrupt a lot of the people who have been working in I can't think of the glasses companies, but just think of, name a glass company. This is going to change things, and you can invest. Yeah, you can invest in places like this for as little. Like this one is what, $495. But there are some others, like let's see, the minimum investment here for these Esker cycles, that's going to change things. Smart tire recycling. Man, there's a brother on here, and I'm going to try to find his particular business because my family and I were looking at that business earlier today, and we just might invest in that particular business. I'm going to go in the background and see if I can pull that up. But here is no, that's not it. It's amazing that there are some. Like Rick Ross has a startup called Rap Plug. That's interesting. That's a really interesting technology. That's going to disrupt a lot of the record labels.
Ooh. Yeah, it's really gonna.
Yeah, but I don't want to get off track, man. So you're talking with us tonight about infopreneurship. So I'm going to dive in the background, try to find what I was looking for. But, why don't you give us the goods, man? As we say on Precise Thinking, you don't give opinions. You give research.
Give research.
Do the knowledge, brother. Do the knowledge.
All right. So tonight we're talking about information marketing, or what is now referred to as infopreneurship. What is an infopreneur? An infopreneur is an entrepreneur who specializes in the sale and distribution of information and expertise. Okay. Infopreneurship is a business model where an individual, the infopreneur, shares his life experience, knowledge, and expertise with others through information products and services that create value and generate income. Okay, so that's what an infopreneur and what infopreneurship is. And if you want to go into it further, I recommend this book here. It's called Start Your Own Information Marketing Business, Your Step-by-Step Guide to Success. This book will actually show you how you can begin to become an infopreneur. One of the benefits of being an infopreneur is that you can create information products either as a revenue stream for an existing company, or you can actually build a company where the primary information or the sole product is information packaged in different modalities. Okay. And just to give you an idea of what an information product would look like, this is a box set. Okay. It's a box set done by Brendan Burchard, and it's from his Experts Academy. This is a 6 disc CD on how to get into what he calls the expert industry. Okay, so this is one example. This is like six CDs. Another one.
Hey, bro, you still have CDs? You have a CD player?
Oh, of course.
Old head alert. Yeah. Old head alert.
Okay. So here's another example. This is Tony Robbins' program called Get the Edge. Okay. This is kind of like a follow-up to his initial program called Personal Power. Okay. And this has about, let's say, about 8 CDs plus this DVD here. Okay. So that's another example of an info product. And then one more. This is done by a new age minister named Mary Morrissey. Okay. It's called Prosperity Plus. And how this is built, it comes with a workbook followed by 10 CDs. Okay. Now, this particular course was only $55. Okay. To put it together, I figure it was only a fraction of that. All right. And then finally, this is Prosperity Plus 2, which is an advanced version, and it has the same thing here, where you have the workbook and you also have the CDs. Okay.
I'm tripping off of these CDs, brother. Do you also have one with a cassette tape in there?
Oh, that's in storage. So that's in storage. But like I said, it's not anything new, because we can go back into the mid to late 80s when the first infomercials were coming out with Tony Robbins and the personal power tapes, Carlton Sheets, where he was selling his real estate course through the infomercials. So information marketing or infopreneurship is nothing new. We're talking almost 40 years of this. But as the technology has evolved, now the different modalities that come into play, your DVDs, your MP3s, now with companies like Thinkific, Udemy, you can actually upload, an online course that you develop. Okay, because the key thing here is to create the product, develop a system, and then eventually put it on automatic pilot. Okay, so this is a business model that can help you develop passive or residual income. Which is the major tool in building any sort of generational wealth.
That's intriguing. There's a young lady, light-skinned sister with curly hair, gorgeous sister, nice, slim. She has these videos, and she uses Identify, or what's the name of that educational program, the platform that you were speaking of?
Oh, you talking about the Udemy?
Udemy, yeah. She uses Udemy, and she teaches you how to be a Udemy teacher, how to put together your course, and how to profit from your course. And one of the things that she talks about is you don't have to be the super guru for people to pay for your course. She said you can put together a course called How I'm Learning to Be a Roller Skater.
Right.
And people will pay to learn your process of how you're becoming a more a better skater. And the great thing she said is you're not going to compete with anybody in that information space. So let's say your space is real estate, and like with me, I'm involved with rehabbing houses and putting them back on the market, quote unquote flipping. I can put together a course, and she says there are 100 of flipping courses out there, but you still have no competition because the people are buying you and your approach to the information.
Right.
Your spin on the information. I'm gonna pull that up because she says everyone has a unique story, and your story may market better to Jane than it does to Jasmine. So Jane will buy your product, and there are thousands of Janes out there, and you don't have to worry about the Jasmines. Jasmines will find their guru, but Janes are going to say, hey, I want to rock with what Minister Zumbi has, so I'm going to pay for Minister Zumbi's course. So this infopreneurship that you're speaking about is really intriguing, man, because this is not a field that most of us have trained our brains to realize is a moneymaker.
Right. And I'm going to tell my age. When, I can even remember back in the 80s when Les Brown was basically up and coming. Okay. There was a company called Nightingale Conant, where what they would do is they would produce home study courses, either in, cassette or CD, and each of them came with some type of workbook. And they covered everything from goal setting by Brian Tracy, Les Brown, public, being a professional speaker. I've seen one on debt consolidation, real estate, whatever you can imagine that can improve the quality of your life on a personal and or professional level. Okay. And these things were going for like 70, 80, 90. Then when the DVDs started kicking in, then you started seeing like the $100, the $150, the $200 set, DVD sets. Okay. Now with the technology emerging into doing like online courses that you were talking about, I've seen online courses go for as much as $500. And what you can do is you basically create the course. And in most cases, these courses are self-paced. Okay, so there's no interaction with another human being. You purchase the course and you go at it at your own pace.
Right.
Okay. So that's kind of, and it also ties in with another industry. Now, to show you how lucrative this industry is, as of 2021, this industry is worth $52.26 billion.
Wait. Rewind. Give me that number again.
Okay, as of 2021, the information marketing industry is $52.26 billion US dollars. So you can get market share. And like I said, there's no barrier of entry, but there's unlimited growth potential. And that's why I said, particularly for African people, if you want to get into an industry that you can potentially dominate, this is the industry to get into.
Well, I found what I was looking for. So this was from a podcast that I used to really enjoy called Side Hustle Pro. Mm-hmm. And in this particular episode of Side Hustle Pro, they spoke with Danielle Leslie, who grew her online course into $1 million business. And the great thing is, part of her streams of income is teaching people to do exactly what she did. And it's interesting, man. So I watched her promotional video. I actually went through one of her courses, and the stuff is good. She has some really good information. I'm going to show you what her website looks like.
Okay.
This is her website. And if you click on her website, it's incredible because, you can click here and she'll teach you how to make a $20,000 course launch in 60 days with a list of 0. What she means is if you have 0 followers on IG, on Twitter, on Facebook, on what's the new one, TikTok, all the other joints, even with 0 people, she has a process, and I watched her process. Her process is genius. How you can make a $20,000 course, and it dealt with pricing, so some of it was $500. So if you have some information that can help somebody make $3,000, then they'll pay $500 for that information.
Yeah, it's all about, return on investment. Like you said, if you pay $500 for a course, but your ROI is like 1,000%, where you start generating, $20,000, $30,000 a month, it's a no-brainer.
Right. Now, she also has a free starter kit. One of the things that I see is with a lot of these infopreneurs, they have a free starter kit.
Right.
And so they have a freemium plan. A freemium. The first part is free, and if you want the premium piece, you have to pay for it.
Okay.
But hey, I really enjoy her course. I checked out her course. Yeah, she's the business, man. But yeah, she worked at Udemy for 3 years as a course launch coach and growth marketer.
Okay.
And yeah, so
wow,
she's the business, man. And this is just one example of what you're talking about, I think.
Oh yeah. This is perfect. And the fact that she basically did her quote unquote paid internship with Udemy before she left and struck out on her own. Now,
Ching.
Yeah. So I'm also assuming there had to be some lag time between when she resigned and when she launched. That's just my assumption. Because of the intellectual property issue.
Well, interestingly enough, she still uses Udemy as her main platform to push her product. Her product is, I know how to do this. Okay. This is where I do it. I'm going to teach you how to be successful on this location.
So she may have a partnership with Udemy.
It's possible. Once again, she has a free course, and the free course is about an hour and a half long. And I sat through the whole joint.
Right.
I watched the entirety of her content. And, of course, you're going to get on her email list, and she's going to hit you with emails every day. Hey, just checking in. How'd you like the information? Next day, hey, here's what I'm going to do for you since you haven't decided to purchase. Third day, hey, here's a new offer I'm going to give you. And, but she's not the only one. But you're right, man. There's some really disruptive things out there. So, tell me more, man. How should our people get involved in this?
Well, let's start professionally, okay? Like I was saying before, if you are any type of agent, whether you're a real estate sales agent, whether you work for a financial services company like Ameriprise, what used to be American Express Financial, any type of sales person, you should already have your first information marketing tool, which is a book. Okay. And then from your book, you should also have enough content to where you can create white papers. You can begin to create courses. You can begin to create. So it all starts with whatever expertise you have, organizing it and packaging it. Okay. It could be something as simple as doing an interview, and let's say you do a short run of 100 CDs, or you basically put it on an MP3 digital download where people can purchase it. Okay. Because the one thing you have to understand is that people will pay you money for your information because they're basically lazy. All right. When I wrote my first book, I put 22 years of personal experience and research in business for $20. So now a person, all they have to do is just purchase the book for $20, and they'll get 22 years of personal experience and research, which is a no-brainer. And then from the book, I can begin to produce other ancillary products or other information products that come from the book itself. I can give you examples, whether we talk about Grant Cardone, whether we talk about Laurel Langenmeyer, Susie Orman, Dave Ramsey, Robert Kiyosaki. The list goes on and on. All of these individuals have taken whatever expertise they have and packaged it in different modalities to where they have been able to blow up and have tremendous success in selling information that's relevant to what the people or what the market is demanding.
Intriguing, brother. Intriguing.
And since you were talking about online courses, this ties into another industry, online education. we're talking about an industry that's well over $300 billion right now. And if you want to talk about gaining market share there, let's say you decide to create your own online academy where you create your own online courses. So it's unlimited potential. And like I said, being in this particular economic climate is probably the perfect business model for you to use, because the product is coming from within you, which is the information, and then all you have to do is take the time to, organize it, package it, build a system to distribute it, and then let the passive and residual income kick in.
Intriguing, because people like me, people like you, particularly people like you, know some stuff.
Okay.
And so you're saying, create the course from the stuff that you already know, mm-hmm. and profit from what you already know.
Yeah. I'll give you an example. Laurel Langenmeyer, in her book was called, The Cash Flow Machine. She actually says that any person in America, okay, she could show them how, based on what their expertise is, she can help them generate an extra $220 a day. Okay.
Intriguing. Hey, got to do a plug, brother.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. So, this is my first quote-unquote information product, my book, The Gospel of Afro-nomic Theology. And from that particular book, I'm actually working on a couple of information products where I take the information and put it in different modalities. I've already started like a rough draft of a potential certification course for people who want to be certified in teaching the philosophy. Okay. Possibly do a DVD or a CD set, or digital MP3 download. So and like I said, it doesn't have to be a book as big as this. It can just be a 16 to 32 page booklet. And then all you have to do is build the system and then drive people to whatever the website is or anything like that. And you make money in your sleep, which is what Warren Buffett tells people to do. Is you have to solve the riddle of making money in your sleep, so that way you can gain financial freedom.
I say to that.
And
a little earlier in the talk, I had mentioned that I was looking at some stuff on Start Engine. Before we get too far away from that part of the conversation, would you mind if I share a bit of what I was just looking at on Start Engine?
No, go right ahead.
I'll show you that. Okay. So, this particular company is called Smart Tire.
Okay.
This is the founder. And what they found is that tires, particularly with air in them, are always going to go flat. So they found a way to use titanium and to create a tire that never needs air, that never rusts, that is almost puncture proof. So when you talked earlier about how you can disrupt things, people are becoming disruptive. This is a great example. These are people who are coming up with things that are disruptive. And this particular product, the Smart Tire, yeah, that's the Smart Tire. It's intriguing, man. Very intriguing. Look at that.
Wow.
Almost puncture proof. Very resistant to all the things that we need to resist. Mm-hmm. And so, let's see, at this point, you have the ability to invest. The minimum investment is $243.80.
Okay.
It's giving preferred shares. They're giving levels of equity. The max valuation right now is $50 million. Currently, there's only 66 investors. So he's raised $41,596. This is their second round. In their first round, they raised $1,296,553.
Okay.
And crazy, right? So here's another way that you could probably make some mailbox money, like because you invest $243 when they finally get bought out. Possibly you have a chance to have a nice return on your investment. But the interesting thing is he's really disrupting the whole tires market. So used tires is a big market. New tires, it's a big market. So if you're able to get a set of tires, all four, or two if you have a motorcycle, three if you have a tricycle, and you don't have to buy another set of tires for 20 years.
Yeah.
It would outlive the car. It would outlive the vehicle.
Now, I'll tell you right now, there's three entities who can benefit from that right now. Law enforcement, military, government. Particularly, your departments and your offices of general services that handle landscaping and, other things to keep the premises clean. Okay. So that's almost like having a built-in market. All right. Because you think about it, like even right now, okay, in New York State, a decree has come out that by 2027, everything, all commercial landscaping equipment will go electric. No more gas-powered landscaping equipment. Okay. So you can imagine how lucrative things can become. And with this whole tire thing, yeah, if I'm on that board, I'm looking at government, I'm looking at military, and I'm looking at law enforcement. From local all the way up to, even the DEA, ATF, FBI.
I'm thinking school systems. Just think, if all those school buses, those big long 42 seaters, if they didn't have to buy tires for 20 years. I also want to share one of the other companies that I invest in. I'll do this one very quickly because in many ways this one kind of connects more with the infopreneurship strategy. I mean, the information you're talking about today.
Right.
And that one is called Quelly TV. And Quelly TV is a black-owned streaming service.
Okay.
So it's kind of like Netflix for our folk. It's Netflix for Nubians.
Okay.
Netflix for Nubians. All right, now I'm actually an investor in this.
Okay.
And it's kind of interesting because so they have all these different shows. Like I watched this today. That was from Mozambique. This is from South Africa. This is from USA. This is from blacks in Germany. This is Ecuador. So people of African descent throughout the diaspora.
Right.
And what she does is she finds the creatives all over the world.
Okay.
Who are putting out content that deal with our people.
Now, okay, so one question I have is, I'm assuming there's a membership subscription to this?
There is. So the membership that I have is like $50 a year.
Okay.
Yeah, so look, if you're a creative and you're creating web series or you're making documentaries like the documentary I'm working on, you can get your content on Quelly TV and you profit by being a creator. So let's say that you do a series on how to, how to start profitable daycare centers.
Okay.
You can put it on Udemy, but you can also have your content on a place like this. All right, so by the way, I just wanted to shout out Quelly TV because I'm an investor there. So,
but no, and this is one of the examples of a quote unquote info product is developing a membership subscription. Okay, so I'll give you two websites that you can look at. One is called Gumroad, Gumroad. Okay. And the other one is called PayHip. Now, what do these two websites have? You can upload any digital product and or physical product. You have your own website, and you can actually have people, you can drive the traffic to, your own website on either one of these platforms, and you can continue, particularly digital products that you could sell from here. I was listening to an interview with the gentleman who created Gumroad. He said he wanted to be one of those .com billionaires. He said he didn't get to that level, but he got to a level beyond what he thought of, and he actually created Gumroad in his parents' basement. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's Gumroad right there, where
intriguing.
And you can actually set your own prices. Okay. In most cases, as far as like the payment, I think they use either WePay, PayPal, one of those two. Okay, and then you just connect your bank account to it if you want, if you want things done direct deposit, wire transfer.
Yo, this is dope. I actually think one of my friends has some content on here.
Oh, really?
But okay. Sell your top 10 lists. Sell your crypto tips. This is dope.
Yeah.
And you can sell to anybody. I'm going to see if I can. I wonder if there's a search function on here.
Okay. And yeah, when you set up an account, you set up your free account, and then you just upload whatever digital products you have. Like I said, it could even be an ebook, PDF, white paper, special report.
Wow. And so these are infopreneurs.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And PayHip is the same way.
All right, so I'm wondering if there's a way where I can search on here. Okay, search. Elementary. Okay, so it may not be on this particular platform, but I know that my friend Raheem Shabazz, who is the creator of the documentary series Elementary Genocide.
Oh, okay.
There's a pay per play platform that he's on as well. So what's the name of the other one you were talking about?
PayHip.
All right, so what's the website?
Payhip.com.
PAYHIP?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is dope.
Yeah. And the good thing about this one, and I think you can have the same thing with Gumroad, all right? What you can actually create is a membership subscription. So let's say, with you being in research? What's I mean in real estate? What's your niche?
Actually, my niche is helping other investors like myself get access to funds. So I broker funds for 6 private funds who are looking for real estate investors who are serious about getting money to flip flip properties.
Okay.
So I help them to get the money. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say you develop a membership through PayHip, where let's say if somebody wants to pay $100 a month for the information that you have about raising capital for, various real estate projects or, brokering deals. So, and let's just say you get 100 members at $100 a pop each month. So imagine you wake up the first of the month and there's $10,000 sitting in your account that you didn't have to work for. All you had to do was just upload that pertinent information that people are willing to pay for.
Okay, you're giving up the goods today, brother. And I think this is important because we need to know what some of these strategies are in the newness. I mean, in the new world that we're living in. I mentioned Raheem Shabazz from Elementary Genocide.
Okay.
So he has a series of films about the school to prison pipeline. I call it the preschool to prison pipeline. And Elementary Genocides, this was one. He had Dr. Boyce Watkins in there, David Banner, Shahrazad Ali, Dr. James Small. The second one, I had Dr. Umar Johnson, Dr. Boyce again, Tracy Sphinx, and Dr. Steve Perry. Dr. Steve is dope. The third one, again, had Dr. Umar, Dr. Boyce, and Killer Mike.
Okay. Yeah, I think I watched the first 2. I haven't watched the third one yet.
Well, here's the deal. If you go here, rent and stream now. So I can't think of so you got to pay for it first. There used to be a platform that he used earlier where you could and it would tell you exactly what platform he was using to stream it. But see, this is the same thing you're talking about. He created it once, and now he can continue to market it.
Right. Yeah, because, and like I said, whether you have a physical or a digital product, and I'm assuming he still sells. I know he still sells the DVDs through Amazon.
Right.
Okay. So, and the good thing about that is, so let's say he's just using Amazon as a distributor. Now, that is what we call third-party drop shipping. Okay. Where he doesn't have to worry about inventory, overhead, shipping and handling, and logistics. Amazon will handle that. All he has to do is focus on the sales, the marketing, and promotion of his products, drive people, the traffic to the website, they purchase it, and then Amazon, being the distributor, they do the rest.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the thing we call, and I always want to look for situations, particularly if you guys have physical products. Ideally, if you can find something that allows third-party drop shipping, so that way you don't have to store a bunch of inventory in your garage or in your apartment.
All right, so if I'm getting you straight, brother, the message is, since you know something, package what you know and use some of these platforms to profit from what you know.
Absolutely, because the thing now is knowledge is becoming the new economy. Okay. And there, like I said, if you're an expert, depending on what topic you have, like I'll give you an example. How many books minimum do you think it would take for you to become an expert in a particular field? Minimum. How many books you need to read?
3.
Exactly. And the funny thing is, I said I can show people how you can become an expert for under $50, because the average book is anywhere from $16 to $20 a pop, normally about 17. You read 3 books, you're about 95% ahead of the American public, because the average American only reads one book a year, and in most cases, it's a romance novel. Okay. So and let's say if you decide to read a book a week in a particular field, let's say marketing, by the end of 1 year, you know more about marketing than 95% of the American population. And then, based on how you absorb that information, you can put your own particular spin on it and then spit it out in, whatever modality you choose, whether it be a book, DVD, CD, etc. Okay. So you can't say you don't have anything, because like I said, if you have information that people value, then just figure out a way how to organize that information, package it, systematize it, and monetize it.
Wow. Well, as you can see on the bottom, it's powered by Gumroad.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, my good friend Raheem Shabazz from the Elementary Genocide series, he's using Gumroad as well.
Okay.
Powered by Gumroad.
Yeah. And what he's doing is he's using various platforms to where now he can have multiple streams, Gumroad, Amazon, whatever other platforms he's using to distribute his product. And he offers it in not only a physical, but in a digital version.
I'm loving it. So you can use GPay or you can use your credit card.
Mm-hmm.
And it's powered by Gumroad. All right, I didn't realize that, brother. You dropped the knowledge on me again, man.
Yeah. Because I'm saying, it's particularly in your industry. I mean, I can't begin to tell you how many info products that exist dealing with real estate, but in different niches. Okay, so like I said, because you're dealing with a $52 billion market, it's easy for you to get market share. And since you already have an existing company, you can create info products and then just make that an extra revenue stream into your existing business model.
All right, I love this. And I've been thinking about it ever since I learned about Danielle Leslie, or Leslie Danielle. I can't remember her name. I can tell you what she looks like, but I can't remember her name. But she's a very accomplished sister, and I think anybody who's interested should check out Danielle Leslie or Leslie Danielle, one of the two. Mm-hmm. So let's kind of wrap things up, brother.
Okay.
So in this particular episode of Precise Thinking, we went over Infopreneurship. Mm-hmm. One of the things that you've said before that I want to make sure we keep driving home is becoming a $20 revolutionary. Yes. What's that all about?
Okay, being a $20 revolutionary, since I deal with what I call the science of beef, business, economics, entrepreneurship, and finance, being a $20 revolutionary, any African person can do this. On a weekly basis, you commit yourself to making a $20 purchase from a Black-owned business, whether it's e-commerce or brick and mortar. If you were to do that over a 52-week period, you would have put $1,040 back into the hands of Black-owned businesses. Now, if we were to expand that to 50 million Black folk in America, and they did that for 1 year, you can potentially put $52 billion back into our economy by just being a $20 revolutionary and buying Black once a week.
All right. One of the other things that you push is becoming a COP.
Yes. Being a COP stands for being a creator, owner, and producer. And since we talked about being an information marketer or infopreneur, this is the perfect time for you to be a COP, creating content, owning the intellectual property, and producing it in various modalities, because some people learn better through audio, some through visual, some through simulation. Okay, so that's what we mean by being a COP, being a creator, owner, and producer of your product or service, and in this case, the content is the product.
And one of my favorites, cultural tithing, which is in your book, and it's principle number 19.
Mm-hmm. Cultural tithing is something where you basically give a dime out of every dollar to what I call a race first organization that basically looks out for the welfare and the well-being of people throughout the African world community. Yourself being a frat man, and we used this example before. If you were to play Mega Millions, I think it's over 400 million right now. You hit on Tuesday, you cut a $40 million check to Omega Psi Phi. That's cultural tithing. That's just one example.
To a race first organization.
Yes.
All right, brother. Hey, we've been talking about infopreneurship, which is formerly known as information marketing. Any last words, good brother?
You know, like I said, in this climate, there's never been a better time for you to either create a demand or to fill a demand that exists in the market. Okay. So, and especially now, like I said earlier at the top of the show, job security is a lie. So you need to really begin to become more entrepreneurial minded. And by becoming an infopreneur, it's probably one of the easier ways for you to come into a market with no barriers of entry, but unlimited growth potential and unlimited revenue potential. Oh, you muted.
All right, well, I was saying, hey, let's get out of here, brother. I think you dropped the bomb again. Ladies and gentlemen, the good brother, Minister Zumbi Shawala. More good stuff, brother. More good stuff. Hey, at least show us your book, man.
Oh, yes. Almost forgot here. So this is my book, The Gospel of Afro-nomic Theology. Like I said, this is about 22 years of personal experience and research in areas of business, economics, entrepreneurship, and finance. I call it Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad meets Malcolm X's Black Nationalism. There's not many books that deal with business and finance and economics through an African-centered lens. And this book is my first attempt to do that.
All right, I think that's it, good brother. So we want to say peace to the planet, peace to the family. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for sharing your time and learning as we continue with this Precise Thinking series with Minister Zumbi Shawala.